All right. It is March 7th, 2023. I wanted to do a before video of this garden. Bless me. Of this garden before anything gets planted. Last year we had drought and I lost my whole entire garden and ended up letting the chickens and ducks have at it. I have, the last 2 days, I've put up my fencing in order to keep these guys, and those guys, and these guys, and the goats, and the pigs out of my garden. And this is my future site for my butterfly and pollinator garden. Main purpose is I want to get honeybees, and I need to have a garden that consistently provides flowers, so the bees have food, not only here but every place else. I'm also going to be growing a small orchard. My neighbor has a small orchard, so the bees will help with pollinating for fruit. Also I'll have berries and vegetable garden, and it'll help with that too. So, and this is the before. In the last 2 days, I have put up cattle panel, rabbit fencing along the bottom to keep the birds from going through the cattle panel, and then this is bird netting that is 10 feet tall. That goes. What are you boys doing? You being silly? You're like, oh, we're roughing. We're roughing. So anyway, the bird net goes also on the outside of the boys' back side fence. So I've got the netting and the rabbit fence on the outside of their fence. So you see it's here, but it runs all the way to that wood fence. The wood fence needs to be replaced, but it's on the when I can afford it list. So I did, there's 3 cattle panels, and I was just a high share, or a hair share short. I can talk tonight. I was a hair short, but I had this piece of horse panel that I was using as a makeshift gate to a pin that I'm not using anymore. So I put the horse paneling here. It's loosely zip tied to a T-post, and I have a clip, and I'm going to add more clips, but right now 1 clip is enough. Excuse the chicken poop stuck to it, but I can slide it open, and I have it where I can actually open it all the way if I have to bring in a wheelbarrow. These bricks used to be, my garden actually went to a little further past this fence, but I made it shorter. I do need to pick up 1 more T-post for the middle of this fence, and when I do, it will get moved out, but I have to get to Tractor Supply to do that. So I'm short 1 T-post, which I will put in, and it'll bow this fence out some. This is all compost from the goat pins. It's just hay, goat manure, that's it. I do have a little bit of pig manure mixed in with this from the pig pen, from the front of their pen when I started cleaning it, but it's only like 2 wheelbarrows that are in here of that. There's a ton of goat stuff in here. I thought I had lost my Vitex to the chickens, and both of my Vitex bushes survived. I need to prune this one. Oh my. Chicken squabbles. I have trimmed this one, and this one survived. I don't know how. It survived the drought. It survived the chickens digging up the roots, the ducks mining the roots. The darn thing is it's a miracle that these two survived. But they survived, and I really don't know how this survived. This is a little crepe myrtle. I thought for sure it was dead, but I don't know if you can see that. There are little leaf buds on this darn thing. It survived. I do have bags of dirt in my car. They're just plain topsoil. I'm going to come and cover these roots back up on both of these trees, and then that way the roots are protected again. My little circle, I don't know. I had blue Russian sage planted out here. I don't know if it's going to come back. I'm not sure what survived the 14-degree freeze. We'll see. I also have, that is a fire bush. It comes up from the ground, and it usually doesn't start coming up from the ground towards the end of March. We're a little bit warmer than what we normally are. We're about running about 20 degrees warmer than our normal temps, so we'll see. I am going to trim that, but I'm going to leave the sticks there so I know where it is. I also have these are Cape Cod orange honeysuckles. They normally come up from the ground too. Now they came up last year and they were alive until we had the freeze. So we will see if they come back up. I will be trimming those also, but I will be leaving a little bit of their branches so that way I can know where they are. I am going to plant some vines on this trellis also. I mean, this thing grows and starts blooming usually mid to late summer all the way up until December, and the hummingbirds love it, and it's got beautiful orange flowers, and it grows. I mean, this, and last year we were in drought and this thing still grew this tall. The first year I planted it, it grew up to the top of the trellis, and it's not the vining kind, it is actually a bushing kind. And that's the same thing with this. And you see how tall this one grew last year. It was almost to the top. And that was in drought and horrible conditions. I don't know if it will come back. I am trimming it. I wanted to get the birds out of here before some of the stuff started coming out of the ground, because the ducks and the chickens would have decimated it. So I am going to bring some fresh dirt, fertilize it, trim the branches down to about, maybe 3 inches above the ground so I know where it is. And once again, I'm going to be planting some vines. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a type of honeysuckle vine or if I'm going to do something like the cardinal vine with the little red flowers. It's going to be something that will be pollinator, something to attract pollinators. This was an olive tree, and I did lose it to the freeze. That will get cut to the ground. I need to come out here with the rake. You see some of the branches and all of that. The chickens pretty much decimated. There was a compost pile back here that had these branches and stuff in it, and they have totally decimated it. They have decimated this whole entire area. They have gotten rid of every piece of grass, every weed, everything. It's clay soil, so it's kind of compacted and rock hard, hence why I've got the compost. And what I'm going to do is slide the compost back, dump a bag of topsoil just right on top of this ground, because this has been fertilized with chicken and duck and pig and goat poop. I mean, heavily, because these guys were running through here because this fence wasn't there. So it's fertilized. It just needs roots to break it up. It needs consistent moisture. So I'm going to just slide the compost back and the straw, and I've got a ton more to bring over here. I've got the boys' pin to rake up that I can bring over here because they waste a ton of hay. And then the girls, I moved the pigs out of the boys' pin, or out of their pin, and moved them with the boy goats. And so what I'm going to do is I got to clean out their pin, and I'm going to put their compost back along the fence because I really can't use it right now because it's hot. Because pig manure is hot. It needs at least 6 months to compost. So I'm going to put all of their compost along the back fence just to build it up. You can see how the fence is, the ducks have dug under the fence and have broken it down around the base. So I want to fill that with the pig manure and mound it up. And then I have a few low spots underneath the pine trees that I want to put some of the manure, and I'm going to build it up and kind of scrape it back or rake it out and gradually build some of this back area up, because this back area right here underneath of this pine tree, it has a tendency to flood and is kind of a low spot. So I want to gradually work this ground up by adding topsoil and adding compost and making this just ridiculously rich. I'll probably start a compost pile out into the pen where the goats, or where the ducks and chickens hang out, and do like a lasagna type with the pig manure. Actually, I'll probably do it in the goat pen. I'll pick a little area and I can do it in there. And between the chickens going in there and the pigs pooping and the goat poop and the hay, they can mix it all together and break it down to give me a really good dirt that I can take and shovel out of there and bring it over here to add to the garden as it breaks down. Now, I have all of these bricks. I'm going to pull and move all of them. I am going to restructure this gate. I'm not going to have any bricks along the front like I did last year and the year before. I'm going to take all of the bricks. I am going to create kind of a walk space that goes to the boys' goat pen and around, but everything else is going to be garden. I'm not going to have a whole bunch of walk spaces. I've got the stepping stones in here, and I may do something with them so that I can walk into it. But this front section is going to be flowers, and I'm going to integrate in my flowers tomato plants and pepper plants. And they are going to grow with the flowers, but it's going to be primarily flowers. And then back here, I have a big section where it gets a lot of sun. I'm doing mounds, and I'm planting squashes, pumpkins, watermelons, cantaloupe, and I'm just doing this whole back section, and I'm going to plant sunflower seeds among it. So there'll be the vines and sunflower seeds all back here. I was going to do corn, and I may still do corn along the back of the fence because it does get a lot of sun, and I want to do some more of your decorative corns, maybe like the gemstone corn, or some red flint corn that it can be, turned into like cornmeal, things that I can feed to them. The sunflower seeds especially, I can feed that to the birds. I can grow sorghum, I can grow wheat, I can grow some grainy grasses, and grow them back here the first year, harvest them for the seed, save the seed, and have a lot more than what you get in a pack of seeds from like Baker Creek. And then use those seeds to plant pots that I can set up areas for like the ducks to nest, where I'll have taller grasses and greens. I plan on making this whole entire side of the property into a beautiful oasis for these animals. People are going to drive by and just be in shock and awe. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It will take a few years for me to do everything that I have envisioned in my head. So for this year, my focus is going to be in this space here. And it's basically a blank slate. It doesn't have really anything here other than a couple of bushes that survived. I have a rose bush over here that I think is dead. And then I have a bougainvillea that grows on this, and it usually comes from the ground, so we'll see if that survived. I also have a grapevine on here, and I don't know if that survived. But I will be adding some vining flowers to this trellis as well, just to make it more, just more spectacular. The bougainvillea usually doesn't start blooming until August, so I'll need some stuff that blooms a little bit earlier. I want to do something with loofah sponges on the fences for the goat area. I want to figure out a way to make kind of like one of my trellises that I can do in the pig pen, or the pig and goat pen, to provide more shade that will vine up. I'm going to have to come up with some nifty little way to keep them from decimating it. I might have an idea. If I put one in the corner over here where the pigs wouldn't be able to get into it because of the fence, and put the rabbit fence around just that area so the chickens and the ducks can't reach in and grab it, I bet I could grow them from the corner, use the pig water to dump and keep it water, and grow the loofahs over the top of the fence that way. And then they could have a trellis in there that would provide them some more shade, like a shade. It wouldn't keep them dry in rain, but it could keep them shaded enough in the summer, because they don't have a whole lot of shade. I bet I could do something. I'll figure out something. I got some brainstorming to do, but I can do stuff with cattle panel, and attach it to their fence over there, and then I could do like a planter box on the outside of the fence and protect it from the birds, and have it grow up the fence and over, to provide them shady areas to go, because the pigs are going to need some shady areas. And I could always put their water buckets underneath it, the trellis, so it's like a covered trellis pool area. Ooh, a pool area with a trellis over it for the pigs. I could get the large blue pools, but they break the sides of those. Anyway, see, I start brainstorming and I start rambling. That's how I come up with the ideas to do the stuff that I do. I start rambling and thinking, and So, anyway, I got to get off of here. It's getting dark. It's like 7 o'clock. But this was just a quick video. So my fence is up. Tomorrow I'm going to plant. I've got 2 Red Riot Cape honeysuckles, kind of like my orange ones that are red, and I have a hibiscus, and then I'm going to start bringing my seedlings out and getting them planted, and then that way I can get the trays empty so I can start more seedlings inside to bring out here, because it's easier to start the seedlings in the house, and that way I can monitor the water, or even starting them in the backyard. Come on, clip. There we go. I can start them in the backyard on my little greenhouses, so I can control the amount of water they're getting. Sure, all of my ducks are in. This is part of my 7 o'clock tour. Yeah, there's ducks out here still. Come on, ducks, let's go to bed. Come on, ducks. Come on, ducks, let's go to bed. Come on, ducks. Hello, goose. Hey. You guys sleeping out here tonight with the piggies? Yeah. Hi, goaty boys. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Zeffies. Oh, Zeffies, be nice. Hi, Pickle Boys. No, y'all had your dinner. I fed you. No tricking me. All right. They don't want to go to bed, so I'll come back out in a little bit, and I'll be in the coop, and I'll shut it up then. What are you doing up? Everybody else is already roosted. What are you doing? You following Mama around? You one of Mama's boys? Come on, let's go. Let's go. So, anyway, I can't wait to have a bench underneath of that pine tree where I can sit there and be surrounded by beautiful flowers and listen to the bumblebees and see butterflies and hummingbirds and be able to look over here and watch my goats and my chickens play. I've got so many plants. Unfortunately, everything takes money. I wish I had my magic wand. Ooh, boy. I can make a lot of things happen then. All right, I've got to get Buddy and his 3 call ducks inside and then come out here and start chasing ducks. So, like always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, share. Please ask questions or give me suggestions, ideas, and thoughts. Yes, I know I screwed up on land management. I'm working to fix that. This is the start of year 2 on my homestead adventure. First year I made a lot of mistakes. This year is trying to fix some of those mistakes, and I'm sure I'll make a ton more. But, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Y'all have a great night. Thanks. Bye.